Everybody, welcome to another awesome episode of Cut Me In. Today we have Trustmyknife with us, and I got his awesome graphic pulled up here, and then we'll get his awesome face pulled up here in a second so you guys see what he looks like. Welcome, Trustmyknife. How you doing, fella?
Oh, good, man. Good. Appreciate you for inviting me, man.
Yo, I appreciate you being on. All right. So, you know how we do things. Come in, we ask some questions. You know, we
Yep.
chit chat, talk a little bit about throwing the blades and stabbing the
Course.
peoples. You know, I kind of ask normally kind of like the same questions and stuff, but I think it's very important, you know, at least for everybody to kind of hear the same questions. That way, everyone knows where everybody stands. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
You have been a big supporter of mine. I've seen a lot of, you know, you've liked a lot of my videos and stuff, and I haven't got to tell you yet, but I really, really appreciate all of, you know, all of what you and everybody else does. I do. At the moment, I'm kind of riding a high right now, and I don't even know what to do with myself. And I just want everybody to just like do the same thing for each other. You know, just this is why we're here. We're just like supporting each other because, you know, everyone's got their different way of doing things in the community. And, but I think when it all comes down to it, we're all part of the same community, regardless of how we play, even though I know everyone hates shields. So,
Yeah, man. I mean, I just, you know, at the end of the day, like, that's what I want is for people to just come together, you know, do knifing, you know, crossbow, whatever it is, you know, it's a different play style. It's all different. It's not your normal, you know, play style. So there's nothing wrong with it, you know? Just got to show support.
absolutely. Like, when did you get started? Like, how long have you been doing knifing stuff?
I've been knifing, I think I started, it had to be Black Ops 1. I was really heavy into YouTube, and I remember watching Only Use Me Blade. That guy's a mess now, but that was the guy who, you know, he put me on. I was like this is it's something different, you know. I was so used to watching like people shoot guns, you know, these play styles that were just everyone was doing the same thing. When I saw him though, it was insane. Like I from that day on, you know, seeing his a video of his, it just changed my life, you know. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. And you know, back then I had really bad internet. So for me, it was really hard to play in general. But he was the one that pretty much taught me, you know, this is a play style, this is what people do. And I just kept doing my research, and I slowly found like these knifing teams, you know, all these different people. And eventually, you know, that was what I did every day, you know. After school, got on, started knifing some people. That's how it went.
That's what's up. What is your favorite weapon that you use? I know, you know, going back to Black Ops, it was just a knife back then, basically. So, and then, but we had hatchets and stuff. What have you liked since then? Like, what's been your biggest, your favorite weapon?
Uh, I think, you know what, like I'm not really good with when it comes to like using the combat knife or any of the melee weapons. I My favorite thing to just use is like throwing knives, tomahawks, you know, that's what I mainly use. Like if I feel like if I have that, like I can do whatever, you know. But out of every Call of Duty, I think I enjoy tomahawks more. They're more bouncy.
Yeah,
I think they register better, and just in general, like they just I throwing knives are cool. Don't get me wrong. You can throw them really quick. But something about tomahawks, you know, it's just a different feeling when you use tomahawks.
man, those
And
tomahawks, like, they just disappear. Like, you throw them in the
they,
air, and they just, like, if you're close
they
enough,
launch.
you don't even see them hit. You just know that you
Yep,
threw it. But
exactly.
that
Yep.
was that was one of my favorite parts. Like, you mentioned it being bouncy. That one of my favorite parts about throwing tomahawks was you could throw a tomahawk across the map, and it would bounce another halfway across the map. Like
Exactly. That's
that.
what I'm saying. Like that thing, it kind of reminded me like a boomerang, you know, like you don't know where it's gonna end up. It might come back, it might, you know,
You're right.
it's just so random. It's
Yeah.
so random.
Yeah.
But yeah, that probably has to be my favorite thing other than, you know, throwing knives. But yeah, that's probably my favorite.
What did you settle on before you settled on Trust My Knife? What did you like? Do you have some that you went through before that?
Um,
And then
I
and
think
then and then how did you settle on Trust My Knife?
I think so. I didn't actually have a knifer name like when I first started playing. I think I started off with like, because I used to play soccer, you know, I put like soccer player 1515 and you know that was kind of goofy. Like they were looking at me like, oh, soccer player. You know, I'm younger. I didn't know, but I think I kind of went through like I had to go at least like 10 different names. Like I had like like triangle knives or something. Like some I would write it down and I would think it would sound cool, and then I kind of just look at it like, yeah, this is trash. You know, like yeah, this is terrible. But I think the way I came up with it is like so before I even started, you know, posting clips or whatever, you know, you have to come up with a name. So my favorite thing, obviously, to do is knife, and I came up with it kind of like if no one really trusts me, then you got to trust yourself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of put together Trust My Knife,
Yep.
and then it stuck because I was like, you know, it was available in every social media and I thought it sounded pretty cool to be honest. Like it just rolls on the tongue. Trust my knife.
Yeah.
Um, I'm
It,
not used to people calling me like you know like my real life friends like oh look it's trust my knife. You know I kind of I'm like who's that? But you know I think it was just something that you know if nobody else believes in me then you believe in yourself. You know what I mean? I know it's just a video game, but that's kind of the meaning. You know I trust myself. I trust my knife. That's what I do. So.
yeah.
That's kind of how it came together, to be honest.
What is your favorite clip that you remember hitting? Like if someone could say like what is if you could like narrow your whole knifing career down to one clip, what would it be?
Man, this is difficult, you know, because I've seen like people hit these crazy clips. Um, I think my favorite one that I would say was like, like man, you know, he's that guy. Like he does this for real. Um, it was probably on Vanguard. It was the remake of Dome on that one map,
Mm-hmm.
and I hit a 6 on times two, and I just yeah that day like I don't know what I did like it was early in the morning, the lobbies were amazing or something, but I just you know I went in and I couldn't believe it myself, you know, like I haven't I haven't really been feeding for a while, so that was probably my favorite clip I've hit. Um, anything else I've done, you know, is just I just kind of base it on if I enjoy it or not. Like I know there's like a standard in the community, you know, somewhat, but I just kind of look at it as like, you know, if you enjoy it, you just post it and you never know what could happen, you know? Like you don't know who's watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, but I think that one clip on Vanguard, a 6 on times two, is probably my favorite one. That
Yeah. That
it
sounds
just, you know,
that
it
sounds
was
pretty
nutty.
good. So like
Oh my God.
what do you play on? Like what is your normal setup?
Um, I kind of just stick with the default setup when it comes to playing. The only thing I change is I have auto run on, FOV I do like 100, and then my sensitivity I do 7. So I don't really change anything up to be honest. I just as long as the game has auto run, I think I can kill it, you know?
So if you were to just to go out and be like, I'm gonna go out and just smack these kids and choose one Call of Duty, like which game would it be? Where you can just walk in and be like, I know for a fact I'm walking out of here with a clip.
Um, I think I'm gonna have to say probably Cold War, Black Ops Cold War. You know, I wasn't too good at Modern Warfare 2019. So when Cold War did come out, I think that game like I just felt, you know, regardless if we were on Hardpoint, S&D, like I was confident, I would get a clip for sure. And I've played against, streamers and people who are just sweats on that game, and I still gave them, a run for their money. So I think Cold War kind of just built, my confidence, and it definitely showed me that, I can do more than just, just stab people. Like I'll throw an axe at you from afar or do whatever, that game was insane. I loved it.
So what would be the hardest Call of Duty? Like what would be the one where you go like where like if someone says, "Hey man, come and play this," you're gonna be like, "All right, fine."
Oh man, I think probably the hardest for me was either Call of Duty Ghosts or even Black Ops. I would say Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 was pretty difficult. Like it, something about Black Ops 4, like, having to wait for that combat axe to recharge and then not even be able to have two at a time. Like it made it difficult for me. And I think I've uploaded clips of it in the past, but that game was to me one of the more difficult ones to knife on. And same thing for Ghost. Like I remember I posted a clip about it like 2 years ago, and I don't know why I was just on it, and just the way the knife would throw and stuff. Like maybe I'm just bad at the game, but yeah, it was probably the worst Call of Duty for me, knifing wise. Like it was alright.
So Dubu says he wants to know how old you are.
I am 24 years old.
24.
Yeah, I look like I'm 30, but I'm 24. It's just the facial hair.
Yeah, so Axe King and Ghost were talking, and we were trying to figure out who the oldest person in the knifing community is, and we thought it was Mr. Knives Only, but I'm actually older than him. But I found out yesterday that Melee Beast is older than I am. He's 42.
What?
So Melee Beast is actually the oldest guy in the Melee community so far that we know. Like I don't know of anybody else that's older that plays. Of course, I don't know everybody in the Melee community, but
Oh yeah. No, I mean
I gotta stop
I wanna get
saying
to that
Melee
point,
community. People keep saying, "You play Melee?" And I'm like, no.
Melee, Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah, I don't.
What's your main goal when it comes to creating content? Do you want to do it full time? Is it just a hobby? You know, what do you think? Like, what is your plan for content creating?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. If I could never work again a day in my life, as far as like an actual job where I got to deal with people, that would be
Oh, I feel
absolutely.
you.
That would be so good. But
I don't know. Yeah,
but
people are just insane.
but the reality of it is that I don't have a goal because I've tried this for 20 years, and I'm 40, and it just now is starting to stick. And what makes me kind of worry about it is since everything that's happening right now is on TikTok,
Yeah,
and you just never know where TikTok is going to go because of all the stuff that
true.
they got going on
Yeah.
with with the government and stuff. There's actually a state that's already got it banned and everything.
yeah,
So
I saw that. I think isn't Orzek in that state where they actually banned it? If I'm not mistaken.
it was Montana. Was it Montana?
I believe so. I remember he said something on Twitter that he was no longer able to post on TikTok.
All right, fella. You have a
All
good
right,
night, man. I'm
Yeah, you too, man.
I'm gonna get off here and do some editing myself, and then we'll just keep at it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, man. Have a good night.
Take care.